If you want to be a part of our live Ask Me Anything, where you ask Stephen Pope, that's me, a question live on camera, join this link with StreamYard. Once you join inside of StreamYard, we can only have a maximum of 10 people in at any given time. And so you'll enter into our private chat and say, hey, I want to ask Stephen about this. I want to ask him about PPC, SEO design, catalog troubles, whatever it might be. I then will select your question and add you into my stream. After we finish our conversation, I'll remove you from the stream and you can continue watching here on YouTube. We want to rotate through as many people as possible and offer a format that's never been done before. Basically, it's like the radio. When somebody calls up, asks their question, they go on the air, and they do the next interview side by side. I want to be able to talk to as many Amazon sellers as possible because I love talking to Amazon sellers. So that's why we brought this StreamYard format along. So again, just log in with a link in StreamYard. We'll have that link at the top of this video here in the comment section. If you want to be alerted about the link to join StreamYard or you want to be alerted about other Amazon news, go over to myamazonguy.com/subscribe and put your email address in right here. That's our newsletter. We reach thousands of Amazon sellers and virtual assistants and everybody that wants to learn about things that are happening in the Amazon space. And as a heads up, if you join the StreamYard and don't ask a question in the chat within 2 minutes, we're going to remove you because we're capped with the number of people that can join the StreamYard. So if you just want to watch, you don't want to ask a question on camera, just watch here at YouTube, youtube.com/myamazonguy. If you want to be a part of our live Ask Me Anything, where you ask Stephen Pope, that's me, a question live on camera, join this link with StreamYard. Once you join inside of StreamYard, we can only have a maximum of 10 people in at any given time. And so you'll enter into our private chat and say, hey, I want to ask Stephen about this. I want to ask him about PPC, SEO design, catalog troubles, whatever it might be. I then will select your question and add you into my stream. After we finish our conversation, I'll remove you from the stream and you can continue watching here on YouTube. We want to rotate through as many people as possible and offer a format that's never been done before. Basically, it's like the radio. When somebody calls up, asks their question, they go on the air, and they do the next interview side by side. I want to be able to talk to as many Amazon sellers as possible because I love talking to Amazon sellers. That's why we brought this StreamYard format along. So again, just log in with a link in StreamYard. We'll have that link at the top of this video here in the comment section. If you want to be alerted about the link to join StreamYard or you want to be alerted about other Amazon news, go over to myamazonguy.com/subscribe. Put your email address in right here. That's our newsletter. We reach thousands of Amazon sellers and virtual assistants and everybody that wants to learn about things that are happening in the Amazon space. And as a heads up, if you join the StreamYard and don't ask a question in the chat within 2 minutes, we're going to remove you because we're capped with the number of people that can join the StreamYard. So if you just want to watch, you don't want to ask a question on camera, just watch here at YouTube, youtube.com/myamazonguy. There we go. Okay, I was on mute there. Sorry about that. Happy Thursday, everybody. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. It's my pleasure to do this live Q&A format with you. We're doing this about every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time. If you guys want to subscribe and get invited for the next one, just go over to myamazonguy.com/subscribe. Today, we're going to have live Q&A interviews with sellers. We have 3 sellers on the back waiting to be come on the show. So excited to talk to them today. But first, let's look at sales. So this is my sales report for yesterday. Had 16,000 in sales, 880 units that came in sales yesterday, which is fun. This was a record day for my brand, Age of Sage. Really excited to see some of that movement. I've been checking my seller app every morning as I see the sales come in. My sales actually beat out Cyber Monday and Black Friday, which I thought was unusual. We have some new products. So this is newly launched products. We've sold several hundred of this variation. 0 reviews so far. So you can still launch products here in Q4 late into December. So if you're just barely getting that product over the finish line, there is still time. Going to have to do FBM though, of course, to make that happen. Lots of fun getting new things up. So you can see, we launched this basically first week in December. BSR started out right there, and we're now in the top 15,000 in all of beauty. So it's possible to launch products without using external traffic, without using Vine reviews, without gamifying it at all. Brand stories, number one thing I keep seeing lots of people miss. This is such a huge opportunity. Look how much product I can cross-link. I mean, it just look beautiful? Each one of these photos, you can have alt text and everything behind the scenes to help you with your SEO. We got premium A+ content. Look at that giant photo right there. Oh, this is so fun. And this Zelda-like looking character is my daughter, Sage. Hopefully one day when I pass off this brand to her, when she comes of age, she'll appreciate all the work that we've done and all the stories and everything else along those lines. All right. So without further ado, we're going to start taking sellers onto the show. And Osos, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the My Amazon Guy podcast.
Thanks, Stephen, for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
So I know you want to talk about some legal entity best practices. So go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, okay. So when I created my seller account, now I gained another nationality and I changed my name in the new nationality. And now I want to change the ownership of the account to the new nationality. And again, I want to change to another LLC company. So what should I do first? Should I inform Amazon that I changed my name, then change the legal entity, or go ahead and change the company and the bank account directly?
So when you're changing the back-end information on Amazon, the bank account is the most important to do a very precise way. So I'm going to talk about how to do that. But when it comes to the legal entity, Amazon all they do is they have you do a little interview, ask you 1 or 2 questions. You submit it within 24 hours. They just check the database. If it looks good, you're good to go. So physically change the legal entity and then do the tax interview on Amazon. You won't really have any pushback. I've never once heard of any complaints, challenges, or issues with that. One caveat, make sure that legal entity has never been put into Amazon on another account. As long as you don't do that, you're good to go. Sounds like you're just doing a changeover. One legal entity cannot be on 2 accounts at the same time. So all those big Amazon aggregators, if you own multiple accounts, typically what they do is they'll have a master holding company and then children, if you will, with the sub LLCs underneath it in legal entities inside of the United States. That's typical. In terms of the bank account, so make sure when you change the bank account, it's right after a deposit. Don't do it with 72 hours to go for that $30,000 deposit, because what's going to happen if you do that, Amazon's going to be like, oh, security alert. We're going to lock you down. We're going to take away your access, and nobody can get into your account for the next 48 hours. And I see that all the time. So whenever you change a bank account, do it 3 to 5 days or a day after, somewhere in that range, within 5 days of a deposit hitting. And if you do that, then the security check won't see the risk. They don't see a hack, and they'll see everything is normal. In the past, I would file tickets and let Amazon know I was about to change these things. It's no longer necessary. It's all pretty automatic and automated, and the security checks. Just don't change the bank account right before a deposit. So we talked about the legal entity, the name, the display name. Also, another thing I get questions about, really not, you can change the display name anytime within seconds. Same thing with the legal entity name. As long as it matches the new paperwork, you're good to go. So how did I do?
Okay, great. Yeah, that's a great advice. Thank you.
All right. Anything else on your mind today?
Yeah, I have another pricing issue. So we are selling a seasonal product. So we sold some units at a low price before the season started. Then now the season started, and we try to raise the price, but the system is not allowing us at all. It just allows to raise every day like 30 cents. not more than that.
And are you losing the buy box?
Yeah, when I change it, the price, I lose it.
Okay, so this is the challenge when trying to launch a product and then immediately try and raise the price. How many orders have happened on this product?
Maybe 1,000.
Okay, so plenty.
Yeah,
So
plenty.
I'm very surprised you can't raise it as much as you want to raise it. So what was the original price that you launched it at?
It was like 20 something. Now it's 25. I want to raise it to 30.
So that's unusual. Like you should be able to raise it. I mean, you didn't tell me something crazy. You didn't say I raised it from $5 to 50. You just basically went from 20 to 25, and you're trying to head towards 30.
Yeah.
So that's pretty unusual. Have you set the list price?
Yeah, set it.
And is the list price set at 30?
No, it is higher than that.
Okay, maybe pull the list price down to 30. I don't think that will help you, but it definitely couldn't hurt in your situation. You could always raise it later as well. And the other thing too is when you raise that price and you lose the buy box, if you still generate orders, you'll eventually regain it. But the problem is you lose ads and the whole thing just kind of goes up in flames. I'll be honest. I think your situation should be resolved in a couple of weeks. How long did you launch this product ago?
3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
3 weeks. Okay. And when did you do the first price raise? Like how quickly in?
3 days ago.
Okay. So you launched this a couple weeks ago and didn't try and raise price until 3 days ago. Okay. And it won't let you do more than 30 cents.
Yeah, every day.
Very unusual. I would have expected you to be able to go up a solid 15 or 20% before you have buy box issues. Just to confirm, you own the brand registry. There's no other sellers.
Yeah, everything. No, there's no other sellers.
I'm going to come up
Should
short
I file
on this
a ticket or case or something?
I mean, the ticketing with buy box issues never helps. Unfortunately, there's nothing there. Unless some category manager in your Amazon catalog like is going after you, but I've only seen that twice. And it's also in a new item, so it just doesn't make sense. So I would say if you have the ability to raise it $1 or $2 and then create a couple of manual orders, maybe wait 15 minutes before you lower the price back, see if the buy box holds. Maybe so Friday night, like that's the best time to do this probably because less orders Friday night, maybe into Saturday morning. Mess with it a little bit, but I'm very surprised. Feel free to send me a link to your products. I'd like to take a closer look at this one because there's something I'm not seeing immediately when we look at this. So, but thanks for coming on the podcast. We got a couple other sellers ready to ask some additional questions. But so Osos, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks, Steven.
All right, we'll see you later. So our next guest, Jeff, who is a staple of the show, always never misses it. You're on mute, by the way. And welcome. Would love to hear your questions about premium A+ content.
Hello, Steven. My question is, well, first of all, been trying to get my brands to really take A+ premium seriously for months now. Finally got them to understand that it is a priority over a lot of their other priorities. So started doing A+ premium. So I know you have to have a brand story. I know you have to have 15 submissions. The question is, what qualifies as a submission? If I create one A+ and apply it to 5 different ASINs, 7, 10 different ASINs, is that one submission or is that?
That's one.
That's
so you'd have to have 7 custom submissions. So what you could do though is just change one single word or one single image on each of those submissions to get it to count. And in writing, the policy is they'll check it once a month. In reality, we have seen access to premium A+ content become available within 72 hours of the 15th submission.
So we have 15 submissions now. 3 of those are brand stories, different brand stories. Those still count as submissions, correct?
Not to the written policy. They might, but not to my knowledge. So I think the brand story is like, have you submitted the brand story? Yes or no? Then you need 15 A+ content submissions. So if they are counting the brand story, that'd be news to me. I haven't seen any literature that says that.
Okay, so I need to separate my ASINs, change one thing, and then make those all separate submissions. Next question, and I'll be done with that part. When you go in, and I've created the name of the A+, and I always put the date that I created it in the name of the A+. If I go in and change one thing, but the date stays the same on my name, how do they count that changing one image as a new submission, but the old submission still remains?
They're going to count it.
So now if I go have a submission, it's approved. I go in, I change one image, I resubmit that. Now it's two submissions.
That's correct.
Okay. And then
now that's how it was working since August. It could change at any given moment, right? Like Amazon might be like, oh, if people are gaming the system, we want to see 15 unique SKUs with 15 unique premium submissions. That could happen. But so far, that's the reality of what we've seen. Any of those submissions work.
The part that mystifies most of my brands and me, if you are a brand and you have 50 ASINs, 10 of those ASINs are really kind of insignificant as far as sales, whatever. You still have to submit A+, even for those insignificant ASINs. So you have to have your entire catalog with A+.
You don't have to have the entire catalog with A+. They just want 15 submissions. Basically, Amazon just wants people to have more custom and good content on the platform. And so they're trying to encourage engagements. Think about it this way. Like a lot of big brands on the platform probably submitted A+ content 2 or 3 years ago and haven't checked it since. Right. And so they know that there's more work to be done here. And so they just want people to go in and start submitting stuff. Every ASIN doesn't have to have A+ content. If you got 1,000 SKUs, that would be impossible. But it does behoove sellers to create a one-size-fits-all template and apply it to hundreds of SKUs. You can do that. So there would be a way to get around that requirement, but that's not a requirement. It just has to be 15 submissions, 15 engagements, if you will.
So I hope my CSM, my customer success manager, will never watch this video, because she told me every ASIN in your catalog has to have A+ applied to it.
I mean, it's not a bad rule. Let's be honest. I mean, that's a good rule, but it's not the requirement as it's written or enforced to get access to premium A+ content. Okay,
that clarifies it a lot. And then the last thing I wanted to say is, when I do my Saturday in LinkedIn, I'm on with seller support that I will be wearing your shirt this time.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate that.
Sure.
And by the way, guys, if you guys want to support the channel, go to myamazonguy.com/swag and get your own shirt. And we have links to all of the products we sell. We've got Age of Sage, Lily Posh, Wholesale, and then there's some nice cotton t-shirts and some baseball caps. We'd love to see more people sporting these. So feel free to check that out. Again, that URL, myamazonguy.com/swag. All right, Jeff, great questions. Was there anything else?
That would do it. Thanks. And I'll see you next week.
All right. Every time I see your backdrop of Yoda gear and Batman gear, I have all kinds of products, of course, I sell that tie to this. My number one seller this year was a Grogu cup. So
oh, I love that. Now I got to buy it.
Let me show you real quick. All right. So it's this nice little, we took the Starbucks logo and put Grogu in it.
Oh, I'm buying that for sure.
Yeah. Selling thousands of these. So.
I'll be buying that today.
All right. I just put it in the private chat for you. All right. Thanks, Jeff.
All right.
Yeah, my warehouse is overwhelmed right now. They're going to rename the machine the Grogu because they're like want to crawl up into the fetal position right now. Right. Oh, man. Okay. We'll see you later. Thanks, Jeff.
All right.
All right. So, Mohammed, if you're still watching, we'd love to have you join next. Robert, welcome back to the My Amazon Guy show. How's it going?
Good. I had a lot. Well, I had a 50% success rate when merging ASINs to change UPCs.
All right, that's about normal.
Much higher than ticketing Amazon through all the different venues. There was
merging.
There was one case where I created a new ASIN. It was a complete copy, and then they said details don't match. We can't merge it. I was like.
So you didn't check it. Got it. All I want for Christmas this year, Robert, is functional Amazon seller support. We're actually going to make a parody video that's going to come out the next week where we're all singing a jingle about functional Amazon seller support. So
they
someday.
sent me a list of the attributes they said did not match, and like half of them were not visible on the category listing report or the individual template for that product feed type. I was like, how could they not match? They're not visible. You couldn't possibly submit them. They're not, I don't know. I
got one idea for you. When you go to make the duplicate SKU, maybe make it manually by hitting the copy listing function. And then that way it'll match those fields by default.
That's a good, I'll have to try that. Let me make a note of that. Okay. On to my actual question.
And before you jump in that, I'll double hit on the duplicate SKU thing. So duplicating a SKU for an ASIN can be done for a variety of reasons. So what Robert and I were just talking about is duplicating an ASIN, not a SKU, to basically change the UPC over because of all the GS1 issues. Separate from that, though, if you go to any one of my listings right now, the Grogu Cup included, and you can purchase from us two ways. You can purchase it both through FBM and FBA, and that's because we have a duplicate SKU on the same FBA, same ASIN. So if we go back over to my inventory page, I'll do that real quick and kind of show what this looks like on the back end. So we just stocked out at FBA, right? So we got 100 more inbound, but we're blowing through these. And so we have the same ASIN right here, and we have an FBA SKU and an FBM SKU. And we just use suffixes to tell them apart and keep everything else the same. This is data management 101. Everybody needs to be doing this, especially when things are going crazy. So we got a top 3,000 kitchen product right there. Big winner. But if we needed to change a UPC, here's what I was specifically mentioning to Robert, is to come in here and hit the copy listing button and then fill in the new UPC. And hopefully all of those catalog things will match up accordingly.
Okay, I'll have to try that. So my question now is, I have a brand, a legacy ASIN owned by a different brand. That brand was acquired by another brand. I have both GS1 certs. I have documentation that shows the brand was acquired by the previous owners, etc. They've accepted it for other reasons. I would like to get the brand name changed on the legacy ASIN. I mean, I know I could just jump right in, start ticketing and all that. I mean, I'm sure there's a, more systematic way.
Is the original brand trademarked and brand registered?
Yes, both are.
Okay. I would recommend un-enrolling brand registry for the old brand and then filing the ticket for the brand name change and doing a template file upload. And do it as rapidly as possible, because if you don't have a brand registered in the system, hijacking seems to show up a lot more. So your risk, you gotta jump on that as quickly as possible. But I've never seen somebody get hijacked in a matter of a couple of days. Usually it's the hijackers are pulling up old listings that aren't brand registered when you're out of stock. Those are typically the attacks.
I've never thought about doing. How would I go about deregistering from brand registry?
So let's go into brand registry and we'll look at it together. So you sign in, of course, you do all that sort of stuff. Click on the brand registry button. And then in the back, you can go to the settings. And then I actually think I have a video on this. Let's see if I do. My Amazon guy.
I don't think I've seen a video.
Un-enroll brand registry. Pretty sure I do. Here we go. Here it is. How to un-enroll a brand.
Oh, okay.
And I need the actual video link. There's transferring a trademark. Where's the un-enroll one? Well, I saw the podcast audio.
Yeah, every time I see your podcast audio, I try to go look for the YouTube video.
Yeah, sometimes the podcast audios outrank the videos, unfortunately. But this is the audio version on Apple there. So I'll put that into the chat. You can check that out. See if you can find the actual video clip. But essentially on the back end of brand registry, you click a couple of buttons. It's really seamless. It goes right through. You can then immediately make the changes. And we've had people get their brand name changed in under 48 hours pretty consistently.
What do you mean you can go in and make the change? You can go into Seller Central and just submit a brand change, literally?
So there's three ways that I'd recommend. Way number one, and this is all after unenrolling the original brand. Way number one is to do a template upload, just like you would any other data change, and do a full template upload. Sometimes you need to do the deletion, although I don't like doing the deletion, especially since you lose sales during that time. So step one, template upload file. Step two, you can then start filing brand registry tickets and changing the attribute there, because it's not a brand registered attribute anymore, and you're going from an unregistered brand to a registered brand. They will accept those tickets. And sometimes you do have to escalate those and whatnot. And then the third way is the Seller Central ticket, which is basically the same method as the brand registry one, but because it's not brand registered, you can also do it through a ticket through troubleshooting data template upload issues.
Oh, I can just give them the batch ID and
give them the batch ID, tell them what you're trying to do. Generally, you don't even need to tell them why. And if you get the right rep, you can get them on the phone and they'll do it for you right there. Yeah. And sometimes it takes a little bit of escalation, goes to the catalog team. You can no longer talk to the brand registry team directly, but the troubleshooting catalog team, you can. And so right now, I'd say changing a brand name is probably a 7 out of 10 on difficulty. Parentage might be an 8 out of 10, trying to troubleshoot parentage specifically. And then a UPC issue would be like the 11 out of 10 issue. So it's not as bad as it used to be. Brand name changes used to be very, very difficult. Adam Heiss and I did a video series about how he did it for his brand. I think it's coming up on 2 years now. It was a 10 out of 10 back then. Today, brand name changes are actually significantly more easier once we learn that process.
Okay, I'll have to give it a try, because I feel like I'm going to have difficulty, because we're currently not the only seller. We're getting their distribution under control. People go crazy when the brand's not registered and they do silly things like a 0.1 pack, 0.2 pack. You've seen those, yeah.
Those attributes are a pain in the butt to fix. Generally speaking, it's because of another seller contribution.
Yeah.
And it's usually not Amazon's catalog team messing it up. Believe it or not. I know it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
But
no. Yeah. Most of the difficulties I've run into are third-party contributions.
Yes.
And we're working through getting Amazon to, basically ticket to contribute through our catalog, and then we have control and we can change things and things like that. But it sometimes becomes very difficult to know if they gave you a true answer, like that list of random fields that probably are not really filled in that they say don't match, or they actually filled in and I have to make the match. I mean, sometimes it's a guessing game, because sometimes I think the agent just copies something, paste it to try to end the case.
They do. Yeah, there is a culture issue at Amazon seller support. It's a top-down issue, and there is not a lot of transparency. There's not a lot of Q&A going on. Right. And it's really bad. So
when I get bad answers, I always start with, no, your answer was not helpful. No, you do not understand my problem. Please escalate this to someone who can. Do not copy and paste a template response.
That unfortunately probably never helps. But
I mean, I usually start with, this was not helpful, please escalate, because I think language like that, directly contradicting and saying the word escalate triggers something. Definitely saying the word escalate triggers something, usually. It
does. Also, the simple fact that you replied to the case and it got redone also triggers it as well. So if you're going 3-4 deep with a message, a case going back and forth, that will trigger an escalated review from a manager.
Yeah, that's usually the route I go. I keep it as terse and short as possible without being personally rude. But if they definitively
Yes.
didn't do anything, I just say your answer was not helpful. You do not understand the problem. Escalate this to someone else. And you have to say escalate. Don't. I used to say just send this to someone else, something like that. But if you don't use the word escalate,
Escalate's a good word. I would endorse that methodology. And by the way, guys, we are looking for more guests to come on behind the scenes. We got another one that just joined us. We'll get to Brian next. He's going to be our next guest here. So if you guys want to join us, click on the StreamYard link. We have a lot of people who have asked questions in the chat. We'll see if we can fill you guys in if we don't have other guests coming on camera. But we are prioritizing on-camera guest interviews. All right, Robert, thank you for coming on the show today. Great questions about UPCs, brand name changes, and issues along those lines.
Thank you.
We'll see you later. Our next guest, Brian. How you doing, man?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Hear you perfect.
Awesome.
We'll have you pull out the guitar to bring us home today. So how can I help?
So I got an email from Amazon today saying that I had a compliance issue and that I was at risk for removal from my product, and clicked on it, and it said that it basically has to do with a children's toy needs testing if it's for children 12 or younger. Yep. My listing very specifically that it's a game. It says 13 plus. I picked that because of the 12 and under.
Smart call.
I have it listed on Amazon under the manufacturer recommended age as 13 years and older. And so I did file an appeal, and there was two choices with the appeal. The first one was my product is made for ages 15 and older. And then the second one was this does not apply to my product. So I selected that this does not apply to my product. And I said, it's 13 over, it's not 12 and under. I didn't know if you had any experience with that kind of children's testing. This
one's really tough. So I have seen this issue a lot in the toys category, especially, and getting them to need or not require the child testing documents after they've requested it. I don't think I've ever successfully seen somebody get rid of that request. So when they said it was at risk, they didn't physically yank it yet. Is that correct?
Yeah, the email that I got basically just said, you need to take care of this. It's at risk for removal.
Okay, that's good. So as long as you're not yanked, I think you've got time. And your goal is to just keep the communication flowing. As long as you're engaged and you continually respond, your risk of removal goes down substantially. Not guaranteed, but substantial risk reduction. The more sales that you generate, the more likely a human review will occur as well. So give me a rough BSR for the item right now.
So my product's fairly new. It's been on there since like September. And I've went from selling like 3 to 5 a day, and now I'm selling about 40 a day. So I've progressed up my sales. So the product is doing well, but it is still in its first few months of
okay. All right. So 40 units a day, probably just underneath the scrutiny category, in my opinion. But once you get up to that 200 a day, it'll definitely cause some additional flags or reviews. So I think you're doing all the right things. Let me confirm. I think all the steps you've taken are completely appropriate. In terms of getting around this, probably what I would do as a next step. How long has the ticketing been going on? Has it been a couple weeks or more?
I just got the email today, and I filed the appeal today.
Okay.
So I've never been through any sort of appeal process or anything. So I didn't know if you have any advice on the appeal process.
You did it perfectly. 100% perfectly based on what I heard you say. So what I would do from here is if you don't hear anything after 72 hours, send a follow-up. Try and get this to about day 10 and at least 3 touch points. And if it's not resolved at that point, send an email to jeff@amazon.com. Cite the case, cite the ASIN, be as concise as possible. Say, hey, I'm worried about my product being removed. It's compliant. It's for 13 plus. they're requesting the CPC, they're requesting the child protection documents. They don't apply. Can you please help me escalate resolution here? And Amazon has unfortunately become such a culture of escalation that the steps that I just talked about are probably going to be completely necessary. And so just expect that it's normal, and make sure when you send that email to Jeff that you're writing it from the main Seller Central admin email that you open the account with. If you do that, I think within 10 days of you sending that email to Jeff, this issue will probably go away, assuming they agree with you and you're not selling a toddler toy and calling it 13 plus just to get around the rules. As long as they agree with you with an executive review of the listing, you should be okay.
It's actually the opposite. My game is more for like millennial demographic, things like that. So it's not even meant for.
So you're in the right then. You're in the right on the topic. So you just have to convince Amazon to release the claim, and they're going to be very slow to do that.
Okay, understood. Well, thanks for the help. It's just when you see that, you definitely kind of go, "Oh no, I don't want my product."
Yes, yeah. Well, especially like a week before Christmas. Merry Christmas, sir.
Exactly. So, well, thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Brian. Thanks for coming on the show today. All right, so we got one guest in the back there. We got Tanvir. I don't think we've seen your question yet. Yep, there it is. Let me bring you in. And then we also have Cool Peeps. I just want to give a quick shout out to Cool Peeps. She donated to the channel. Although I'm focused on camera interviews today, I'm going to insert hers in because she's been a super fan for a couple of years. When do you think they'll ease up the restocking restrictions on all of Amazon FBA accounts? What happened last year was February 10th. That's a long way out. February 10th. Basically, I thought it would go away like Jan 5th last year. It took all the way into February. I don't know why. I think it's because in January they were still trying to catch up. They couldn't catch their breath. Restock limits didn't ease until all the way to February. And then they were gone. They didn't exist between February and October. And then all of a sudden, boom, here they're back. October 5th, boom, they're in your face again. Do I think they'll happen next year again? Yes. We now have precedents. It's no longer a supply chain issue. It's no longer an economic pandemic issue. It's now an understaffing issue on Amazon's part. They are purposely understaffing due to profitability issues their warehouses. So that's what we're seeing right now. So unfortunately, I think it's going to be all the way into February 10th. We lost Tanvir on the back end here. So I'm going to go take a couple other questions in chat while we're waiting. So if you got a question, you want to come on camera today, please join the StreamYard link. Otherwise, we'll see if we can take some of your questions in chat. We will prioritize member questions as well as donated questions. Tanvir will probably be on here in a minute. We're facing problems regarding brand registry being rejected. Tried too many times, failed. Received rejection messages. Kindly help us. So there's generally the main reason a brand registry gets rejected is one of two things. Number one, if you have a suspended account in Canada and are trying to file the U.S. brand registry, they will reject it. You have to get Canada unsuspended first. That's the most common reason. The second reason somebody's brand registry gets rejected is because the brand name, there's Tanvir, we'll pull him in here. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Hello, man. How are you?
Hey, so just getting to your brand registry question. So number one question I have for you is your Canada account suspended?
Yeah. I tried multiple times, but I got rejected every time.
Yeah. So that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Get Canada unsuspended, and then brand registry will be accepted. 100%.
Yeah.
So to get Canada unsuspended, you just need to, and there's usually the number one reason someone's Canada gets suspended is because of a bug, nothing you did wrong. They linked it to another account. And so all you got to do is just file a ticket inside of Canada, Seller Central, and say, hey, you've suspended my account. This is an error. Please reinstate. Simple as that. No appeal needed. No POA, nothing. Just one line. We find Canada accounts get unsuspended very quickly with that method.
I try multiple accounts, and today I tried like six times, but not got my solution.
Try it again, because you have to win on this. You have to win getting candidate unsuspended to get brand registry to go through. So if you filed 6 appeals on candidate, file 1 more and send an email to jeff@amazon.com. That's going to be a recurring theme today, and escalate the issue and basically say, hey, I've tried to go through your normal process. My account's unsuspended. I can't get brand registry accepted. Please unsuspend candidate. I've done nothing wrong.
Okay. Thank you, man.
So that'll be a simple one for you today. Not a simple answer and a correct answer, very pointed answer, but a difficult journey ahead of you. But I think by this time next week, you'll probably be unsuspended and you'll have brand registry. So I have a very positive outlook for it.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Thanks for coming on, man. So we got David Green coming on next. Hey, David.
Hi, how are you? First of all, thank you so much for everything you do.
You're very welcome.
So my first question is, basically, I don't have a BSR.
That's a problem.
I know it's a problem, but I'm still ranking organically. So
normal.
So what's the problem then? Why do I need the BSR?
If you don't have the BSR, the category is most likely blank. So what you need to do is go into the back end of Seller Central, click edit on the listing, and check the category ID.
So I do have a category, and and how many times I tried changing it, because I saw all the competitors, they do have a BSR, but they said, no, that's the category, like you belong there and you can't change it.
Okay. Have you done a full template upload yet?
Yeah.
Okay. So you downloaded the CLR, the category listings report, you re-uploaded it, and the category is filled in, not changing, and the BSR still not showing up. Is that all correct?
Right.
Okay. Is the category you're in the same as the competitors?
No.
Okay, that's the problem.
In the beginning it is like, and then it changes like slightly different.
What if Amazon deleted your category? So I've seen this happen. Amazon goes through, they update the categories. If all of your competitors are in category B and you're in category A, you want to be where the competitors are 100% of the time. So I would recommend the following. File a brand registry ticket requesting a category change. Be very specific on that your product is category B. Here's a picture of the product. Here's a link to the manufacturer's website. And here are my top 2 competitors who are all in this category. Build a really strong case. And then they are going to reject that, like they rejected your other tickets, and escalate the heck out of it. And just go back and reply to the ticket and say, hey, I need this. I need an escalated review here. My BSR is blank because you deleted the old category, and then restate the problem. Once you've gone back and forth on the same ticket 3 times, I then want you to send the email to jeff@amazon.com and escalate to this and say, dear seller executive relations, here's my problem. Here's the solution I need, and be very concise and give them the case ID as well.
All right.
Your issue will probably take 2 weeks to solve. The good news is that you're still getting sales. The bad news is when the category is blank, the indexing is generally not as strong. And so one technique, and I know you're on a mobile phone, and you probably don't want to share your product, but if you have an issue, right? So if we take this ASIN right here, and I type it in and I have the home and kitchen selected and I can see it show up. But if I go to Amazon.com and I type in the ASIN and it doesn't show up, this is a very common behavior of a hidden suppression or a missing BSR. If you type in the ASIN at Amazon.com and the product does not show up, this is a big, big problem. You got to focus on trying to solve it.
But it does. It shows up.
Good. Even when you don't have the category set.
Right.
Good.
It is set. It just set to something else.
Good.
That they.
So when you go to the product and you scroll down, and so like, do you see the intent? So you can see this Chrome extension right here. See how the sales rank is visible?
Right.
Right. So when you run this, it's blank for you, correct?
I use Jungle Scout, but
Same idea.
I'm trying to. I'm not at a computer right now, but
I understand. So take that as a homework item. Pull it up and see if it's always been blank or if there's a specific date where you see it go blank, right? And if you see a specific date where it went blank, that's going to be revealing. That's going to give credence to my belief that Amazon deleted your category. And the other thing too is if I'm right and they deleted your category, when you go down and see the category list right here, and you'll probably see like the generic one, like the kitchen and dining like this, but then you probably won't see the subcategory. And if the subcategory is missing, that would also give me another credence to my belief that your category got deleted.
Right.
So you definitely, this is a very important thing for you to focus on. You definitely want to make sure you got that brand registry ticket out and continue fighting this until it gets fixed. Because if it doesn't get fixed, you will have SEO problems. You'll have indexing issues, and maybe they don't show up yet. Maybe you can't feel it. Maybe your sales are the same, but eventually it will catch up. Eventually you'll start to feel it. So I would fight on this one. And then one quick question for you: it's not a subscription item, correct?
No.
Okay. So sometimes subscription items have even worse problems on this topic, but sounds good on that front.
Right. And one more question, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
An interesting thing that I got a discount fee on the referral fee for a couple of days this month, and last month the same thing, like 2-3 days out of the month. And
congrats.
It was for the full amount of the referral fee. It was crazy.
Really?
And then when the whole time that I had, I was just holding my breath every second. And then when I stopped, I tried like getting to the bottom of it, trying to find out what it is, why it is, but nobody was able to help me. Have you ever seen something like that?
The exact story that you told, no. I have seen similar things in the past where people have had
like 15%,
Amazon.
that's common.
I've seen Amazon give discounts on products at no cost to the seller. So let's say you normally sell the item for $50. You've never run a sale. You've never had a coupon. Amazon comes in and lowers your price to $45. They will then take that $5 and not charge it against your referral fee and discount it down. So that's what I have seen. And I don't know if what you're describing is one and the same. It didn't sound exact. It sounded like you just got 15% back, no question asked.
No, 15%, the whole amount on the referral fee. So let's say if the referral fee is $4, I got the discount of the full $4.
And the consumer, were they buying it at full price?
Yes. I mean, okay. I discounted the product, of course, but the referral fee was discounted.
So that sounds like a special program. It's not a new item, is it?
No.
Okay. How long has it been around?
Almost a year, actually.
All right. So it doesn't qualify for new product discounts at all. And so can I ask what category it's in?
It's home and kitchen.
Okay. So that's not a category that's like special, right? It's not like an up and coming niche or anything unusual, correct?
Right.
Okay. So I don't know on this one. If anybody has heard of anything that David has just described, where Amazon gives the referral fee completely discounted, 100% referral fee off, it's not a new item and it's not in a niche category. I want to hear from you. So David's going to come back in a day or two and watch the video comments, and he's going to look for any additional help. So if you're watching this on the replay, we'd love to hear from you. Very unusual, David. Congrats. Free money from Amazon. You'd not ever hear that.
Don't worry. They take it some way.
Yeah. Rob Peter to pay Paul, no doubt. All right, David. Any other questions?
Not really. One more question. I don't know if it's like if I'm trying to calculate like daily profits, is there any way to calculate that? For example, I used to go like on the mobile app by payments. You go to closing balance. You see every day it changes. Usually it applies. Is it like, does it take a day or two, or like or it varies like
There is
different.
there is a delay on data inside of Amazon. There are multiple tools. Generally, daily profit tracker is going to be a standard deviation off generally, like within 20%. But if you're using a tool, and there's lots of different tools you can use Helium 10, you can use Seller Legend. There's all kinds of tools out there. I don't think anybody's happy with a profit tool today. One other thing you may not know about, and I know you're on mobile, so you can't see this quite well, but if you go into the back end of a product and you click on the SKU from the inventory page and scroll down, you can see the SKU economics. This is a fairly new section, and you can put in here the COGS of a product, and then it will calculate all the ad costs right there, the inbound transportation costs, and it'll spit out your net proceeds right there.
But it also takes like a couple of days until it gathers like PPC expense and stuff like that.
It does. So I do get a daily alert from Helium 10 where they come in and they basically say, hey, you made $1,000 today. Hey, today you made $1,300. I do get those emails from Helium 10. You may want to check those out since
I get it from Jungle Scout, but I don't know how accurate it is.
I hear you. I would say within one standard deviation is probably how I would say that. By the way, guys, I'm an affiliate of Helium 10. I'm a big believer. Jungle Scout's a great program to you, by the way.
No, it wasn't a mistake that I signed up in the beginning. It was it was a little mistake that I did.
That's okay. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with Jungle Scout. Helium 10, I just have a preference for. If anybody wants to get 20% off on Helium 10, I just posted a link in the chat. Promo code is Stephen Pope 6M20. A little long on the promo code. But I just put that in the chat for anybody that wants to check that out. If you sign up for Helium 10, I do get a kickback on that. You'll pay for some Chipotle burritos for me. So, David, thanks for coming on, man. It was great talking with you. We'll let you get back to the drive.
All right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. By the way, how long have you been an Amazon seller?
So I started doing research. I did like a year and a couple of months, and then my product is available since March.
All right, so fairly new, man. Congrats on the success so far. Wish you the best.
One more question. Is there any way on Amazon itself to see tacos instead of ACOS or no?
No way.
No way. Only extension.
Only through an extension. The way that I calculate it, though, is if you just take the weekly sales and the weekly ad spend and then divide the two, you got the tacos. Yeah. But a third-party tool generally is what people use to do that.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll see you later, David. So that's our last guest behind the scenes. If you still want to be a guest, we have more time. Click on the StreamYard link and join us now. While we wait for our next on-camera guest, I'm going to go to the comments section and see what we've got behind the scenes. John Aspinall, he's one of our account executives over at My Amazon Guy. If you guys want to talk to us today about hiring My Amazon Guy, just go to myamazonguy.com/book. You can talk to John today. Same day appointments available. So again, it's myamazonguy.com/book. Just put your email in there and pick a time. John says Chipotle. Well, now I'm hungry. Thanks, Stephen. You're very welcome. AMZ Talk says, very much information for new sellers. I agree. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to scroll up and see what other questions we have in the queue here. We got a couple more from Cool Peeps. A lot of them from a couple. So we got like 50 questions in here. I'm going to go to Jordan Lee Smith. Best-selling tips for the last 2 weeks before Christmas. Number one, don't go out of budget on your PPC campaigns. That's my number one tip. Number two, don't go out of stock. If you're out of stock on FBA, duplicate the SKU and open up an FBM listing as soon as possible. Would a coupon be a good idea, or should seller raise their prices in the last weeks? That's an easy question for me to answer. Raise the price. Margins are a problem. Inflation is an issue. I am not a believer in coupons. I'm a marketer saying this, by the way, right? So for a marketer to say raise your prices, don't run coupons, there's something there. I am very biased to want to run a coupon. So take that for what it's worth. Ahmed says, question about Amazon referral fees. If my sell price is $29 and I have a coupon 5% off, will I make the final price? You'll You'll pay the referral fee on the difference, whatever the consumer's paying. You will not pay a referral fee on a coupon discount. That's a very common question I receive. It's a good question. Is it worth selling ladies' clothes fashion on Amazon? That's a tough question to answer, and I'll tell you why. I used to work for Ula Popkin, a women's plus-size clothing company. I have helped several brands at my agency, my Amazon guy, over the last couple of years. Clothing is a very competitive category. And so it's very difficult because you have high amounts of stock, high amounts of SKU counts and variations. Hard to get the BSR to go up on those listings because instead of selling on one listing, you are selling on multiple listings. And that also makes it very, very difficult. So there's a lot of reasons why selling in clothing can be difficult. But by and large, I recommend that you focus on what you know. So Mohammed, if you know a lot about women's clothing, you've got experience in it, stick to what you know. Forget what the data says. You're better off sticking to product categories that you understand, and the data is not as important. Let's go to the next one. Aidenon says, what's your results for your standard A+ content versus premium A+ content? Experiment on Momstir gift set. So I don't actually think I've run an A/B test on premium versus not. That's actually a really great idea. I probably should do that. But my understanding is it's generally going to give us about a 10% lift. It's just a no-brainer to do because you get more modules, you can load videos, it's prettier, very much worth doing. Highly recommend it. Osman says, could you please give me some tips on the gun-related sellers? How is it going for the holster business? Are you struggling? We're doing better. I haven't looked at the overall sales, but I'll show the brand. So this was probably the roughest, least profitable brand I've ever launched, and that's because we didn't realize that people didn't really care to buy American-made products. So we're making this over in the Carolinas, and so we've got a really cool process. We have high-quality products, American-made, and so we've had to lower the prices. Now, we're selling hundreds of these units, but we should be selling thousands. And for the quality and what we're doing and for the demand, we came up with a really cool brand name. It's called Wholesale. Gotten really great feedback on it. I love naming brands. It's one of my favorite things to do, and coming up with logos and all that fun stuff. It's a hostile category, right? Like if you Amazon will just randomly yank products. It's very difficult to keep these products up. And there's just a lot of challenges behind it. Gun accessories, you can't show a picture of a gun pointed at the camera. Lots of other things you can't do with this, right? And so culturally speaking, you really need to have an American run team to sell these products, because if you send this to a non-American designer, they just simply won't even understand the product to begin with, right? So you just get, there's a lot of steep learnings, a lot of complications. By the way, we just launched this holster stand as well, target stand rather, and really cool box, I have to say, that we were able to do with this. And so I was really happy with this product launch. So there's a lot of cool things that we're doing. Looks like we need to get a brand story on this one. Geraldine, if you could mark that in the Sage channel for us. And so just in general, Amazon's hostile to the category, steep learning to the category. I would not recommend this for intermediate to novice Amazon sellers. This is an advanced Amazon seller category, or you have to just be an advanced gun guy. You got to just know your stuff, soup to nuts on all of that. Okay, let's go to the next question here. Just looking on the back end. Matthew says, just got a patent for a product. Where and how is the best option to display this on Amazon listings? There's not. What you can do is put it in the bullet points and in the graphics, but there's not a specific place you can load it, unfortunately. But it's definitely worth doing. Especially keeps off new sellers from trying to show up if you've got a utility patent, especially. Kumar says, just created a fake listing just to see how everything works. FSKU spit out my first and last name. I have never seen that before. Is this because the LLC is not verified? I hope I'm making sense. You make sense, Kumar. I've never seen that happen before on the FSKU label. I'm like, how has that even happened? I know that on the brand store page, you will see your name. If you don't have if you have an LLC, they'll show your actual name, but I've never seen a name show up on the FSKU. So did you put that in the title of the product by chance, or the SKU name? That's the only way I could foresee a name showing up on FSKU. Very random question. I've never had that one before. First signed up for under my personal details, and a week later opened an LLC, put my EIN in, keep checking every day, but Amazon's still showing verified verification. Usually this goes in within 2 days, Kumar. So you probably have an unusual situation. File a ticket, ask them to clear it. Just keep asking. It eventually will go through. Kumar's got a lot of questions today. I'm a new seller trying to get a little side hustle going, so this is all great information. You're very welcome. When I say new, just created the accounts a few weeks ago. Yes. We got a plug for the Jeff@Amazon.com email. That's the seller executive relations email to escalate. After you go through the normal channels and do 3 escalations, highly recommend tapping that escalation. Still no takers with more people to come on camera today. I'm surprised. These are my favorite things to do for the show. So if anybody wants to come on camera and ask your question and get 10 minutes of time with me, here is your chance. Join us on the StreamYard link at the top of the YouTube channel description. Is it possible to cross 7 figures in Amazon wholesale in 1 year? All things are possible. The likelihood of doing 7 figures with wholesale is actually pretty high. You will probably are going to need a minimum of 3 very large partners. You will not be able to do this with one single seller, in my opinion. 3 partners is the way to do it with wholesale. ADAV says, I have a product that I listed, but under the brand name, I put unknown. I have a good relationship with the company. I just want to know what I need to do to fix that. So brand register the brand, file a trademark. If you don't have a trademark, I encourage you to use my Amazon guide. Just go to myamazonguide.com/TM. We have filed well over 1,800 trademarks. We need to update this attribute. Geraldine, take an action item to update that to 1,800 now. And you can get brand registered in under 7 days. Then you're going to file a template file upload. You might have to do a delete and relist ADAV and some brand registry tickets. The interview I did with Robert about an hour ago, you're going to want to watch that. We talk about how to change the brand name during that session. Is it possible to cross? Yeah, we did that one. We got a nice little hello coming in from Facebook. Tayaba, thanks for watching today. What are your top KPIs on Amazon? Asks Jonathan. Number 1, top line sales. That's the easiest one. Number 2, advertising spend and sales, as well as ACOS. Number 3, traffic. And number 4, conversion rate, probably in that order. Under the traffic, I might break that out a little bit and say, hey, I want to know my keyword rankings. I want to know my market share percentages. One of my favorite reports to look at is the brand analytics report. I'm going to share my screen and demo this. It's been a couple months since I've done this on the channel. If you want to learn more about this, this is some of the best data that Amazon ever releases. Go over to myamazonguide.com/ICAP. ICAP stands for impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases. This is a case study that I did. I did it on the term sage candles for cleansing house on my smudge sticks. I'll show you that product real quick. And I was able to triple my market share on a keyword I didn't even know was important until I looked at this report back in March. And since then, I've been able to maintain an increased market share. So this is a product, this has been up about a year, got 1,200 reviews. We have all kinds of strategy on how we do this product. And long story short, I use the Search Query Performance Report. This is the Brand Analytics Report. And by the way, guess what? Here's your early Christmas present this year. You can download this report now for the first time. Praise the Amazon gods. You can now download your Search Query Performance Report on Amazon. Thank heavens. Anyway, long story short, you can come in, look at keywords. Here's a 10,000 search volume keyword. I have a brand share of 0.5 percentage point. But when somebody sees my product, I get a 16% click-through rate. What does that mean? That means I need to show my product more often. I need to spend more money on ads for that exact term. And I probably need to put that into one of the titles of my products. Fuzzy sweater for women. So if we go to my Lily Posh brand, I barely spend any time on this brand. This is kind of the afterthought brand, if you will. And so if we try and find one of my sweaters, I don't even know. Do I sell sweaters? I think I do. Hoodies. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Oh, nice. Our brand store has no active product at the top here. Geraldine, let's take that as an action item to get to maybe put some active product at the top of our store. All right, so we got a Sherpa fleece long sleeve. So if I wanted to act on this keyword, fuzzy sweater for women, what I would do is I would change the title, fuzzy sweater for women, and I put it directly in the title somewhere. Now, this is a Sherpa. I don't know how women would feel about a Sherpa versus a sweater. I'll be honest, they look like the same to me. And then we'd put that into the title, we put that into the content, and maybe the A+ content, stuff like that. Looks like we're missing A+ content on this one. Geraldine, we need to probably do an audit for A+ content for Lily Posh. And what we'll do is we'll add in the information, and we come back, we monitor it, and then the KPI for market share on this keyword. We were at a 0.5%, now we're at 3%. Boom, we get more clicks. We get more clicks, we get more sales, and you can trace it through here. So impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases. Anytime you have a higher percentage on clicks over impressions, you need to focus on those keywords. Those are keywords that the consumer is telling you, this is important. You need to focus here. And if you do, you will pay dividends. You'll get lots of benefits to doing that. Okay, so just kind of looking back down the chat, looking for other ideas to talk about today. Let's go through some of the latest comments here. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guide. We do this every Thursday at noon, holidays permitting. And let's scroll through and see what other questions we've got. They got another one from Cool Peeps here. What's the current check-in time at Amazon warehouses, especially the one in North Carolina? My warehouse is in North Carolina. And the check-in times are 35 days right now. It's bad. It'll probably get better sometime in the middle of January. It won't get better until minimum January 15th, probably as late as February 5th is be my guess. Happy holidays. Yes, we're coming up on Christmas here. Happy holidays to everybody. And Merry Christmas to my Christian friends. You are the best. Sorry I can't be on camera today. Sick kid, but have a few questions. We covered some of those for you. Hope your kid gets better. I know the flu's going around this season. A lot of soup in your future here. Hope we get better. How do I add a flat file that my product is fragile? Great question. During the shipment process section, there's a section for prep. And if you register prep there, that'll show fragile. And that's the place that I would do it. I don't know how to do that on a flat file, to be totally honest off the top of my head. It is definitely possible, though. What I would do is I would download the CRI report and look for the keyword fragile to see if it exists. And if it doesn't show up on the CRI report, go to the attributes tab of what can work on this on the template and see what can be filled in. And you may see fragile glass, for example, as an attribute you can fill in under a header. The header may not say fragile, but the attribute that you fill in might go ahead and display that. How do I overcome the editing the listing problem? I've tried inventory files, moreover, how to change a product's category. So Lena, we covered that a little bit with Robert. Recommend replaying that. In short, to answer your question, file brand registry tickets, escalate them, take cell phone pictures of your product, as well as loading in a manufacturer's URL. Once you're 3 tickets deep, try and file tickets and emails with jeff@amazon.com to escalate that. Sean, once you got your camera on the back end here, we'll bring you on the show here. Got a LinkedIn comment coming in from India. I have a question about my account. It's new. My listing Buybox getting disabled. What can I do? Get 20 orders. Once you have 20 orders, Buybox issue probably go away for you. Mene says, hello, Stephen. Can I parent 2 ASINs with different brands? No, cannot. Must have the same brand name. They can be in different categories, technically not advised, but brand name must be identical. It won't have any issues with that. All right. Robert got another follow-up question. There is a field in the flat file, but many of the product field types disable this field. That was in reference to the fragile comment. Each of those reports, insanely valuable to understand for your brand, should consider a whole series of videos on those reports. I totally agree, Robert. Those are the sort of reports that advanced sellers need. We should definitely do some series on that. I agree. Adnan says, do you believe bullet point 6 to 10 to help in ranking and indexing? No, I don't believe so. Here's why. I believe that only the first 500 characters will probably index off the bullets. So once you're down to bullet point 6 through 10, it probably won't. Having said that, I don't think anybody wants to read 10 bullet points, so I wouldn't fill it in to begin with. So that's kind of my view on that. A+ content, 100% indexes, alt text indexes, brand story indexes. It's logical that the 6th through 10th bullet point would also index. However, I believe it's getting cropped. It's category specific, which is why I don't believe it indexes. You could always test this. You could put Spanish in those and see what happens, but I don't think it does. Daniel says, if I wanted to change the name of my LLC with the state, would this cause issues with Amazon? No. In fact, if you don't update it, probably just have to do it once a year at the year end before they send you your final documents, your tax documents, if you will. I don't think it'll cause you any problems. Raj says, does having multiple promotions along with coupons in the Amazon listing help products to move up organically in the search rank? No, not specifically. However, sales helps your organic ranks. You need sales to get sales. So anything that gets you sales will help your organic rank. That's a true statement. But running a promotion or a coupon does not specifically help your keyword ranking. If you run a coupon and all of a sudden you generate 50% more orders, obviously those are going to help you with your ranking. You're better off, typically speaking, just simply lowering your price versus a coupon when it comes to ranking strategies. However, Tech Paver says, can I remove a child ASIN from a parent and link them to a new parent? Yes. Sometimes it requires you to delete the original parent to release a child. Sometimes you can just simply reload a template file and move the child over, assigning the new parent. You cannot do this manually. This all has to be done by template upload file. However, my product has been stuck in FC transfer for a week, about 6 SKUs in my inventory. How long does it usually take to come available? Right now with the Q4 rush, 40 days with an FC transfer. They are overwhelmed. The FBA is completely backed up. So that sucks. Your Christmas rush might be affected by that. Unfortunately, FBM is the cure in the meantime in the next 10 days. Let's go. How to deal with shipments auto-closed by Amazon without giving any chance to investigate. I have a service called My Refund Guy, and we automatically claw these back. We go in and basically say, hey, Amazon, you mess up the shipment, pay me for it. First $500 and the audit completely free. So if you want to check this out just to see what we think is available on your account, go to myrefundguy.com. You can sign up for that, see how much Amazon owes you. After that, 25% fee, where we're going to go chase lost and damaged units and lost inbound shipments. Very popular service. We have over 500 customers who have signed up for My Refund Guy. So I highly recommend engaging with that. Is it a good to start with the title with my brand name? That's a debatable topic. If you have a really good brand name, yes. If the brand name is 4 words long, probably not. And for the most part, people do not remember the brand they purchased from. I'll give you an example. If you were to quiz 1,000 people, what was the last item you bought on Amazon? Guy number 1's like socks. Guy number 2 is like a tumbler. And then you ask them the next question, what was the name of the brand you bought it from? I believe less than 2% of people could answer that question. And you can think about this yourself. What was the last item you bought on Amazon? Do you remember the name of the brand? Probably not, right? So that's your litmus test for that. So in general, the first 5 words of a title should be the most important keywords. If you sell a funny wine tumbler, then put the keywords funny wine tumbler. If you have a particular thing you're chasing, a keyword you're in that's really important, front load it on the title. The rest of the title doesn't matter if it's in word 6 or 10 or 20, it'll all index the same. But the first 5 words of the title will help with CTR. And that's why you want to have a keyword that makes sense. Most brand names do not make sense to start the title. It is technically a requirement by Amazon, however. Sabah says, Amazon's latching onto one of my listings despite it has a specific brand name. I opened the ticket. They said they don't see it as a violation. Now I don't have the Buybox. So if they are counterfeiting your products and they are selling a lookalike, buy the product from them, complain as a customer, and file tickets both on the buyer and the seller front. You will get them removed for counterfeiting your goods. If they are selling the same thing and they're just a distributor, you don't have any way to police that. You're probably a good case for opening up a vendor central account because you have a wide distribution network. Amazon account suspended 15 years ago, no option to appeal. I would just file a new account, Zishan. Just make sure you use a new LLC, new credit card, new bank account. Probably go through no problem. Sean asks, does children products always require the CPC for clothing, for example? It's hit or miss from my experience, Sean. Generally speaking, clothing does not. But if it's like something they sleep with or something that can cause a choking hazard, then yes, it's going to be required. Can you move a household category to a HANDMADE category approved from HANDMADE? I don't think that's a good idea for starters. What I would do instead, John, is just duplicate your product in HANDMADE and then offer customization. That's what I would do if I were you, John. This particular topic is very much worth a coaching call, so I can like go through and like help you understand why you'd want to do this. Highly recommend engaging us for that. Go over to myamazonguy.com/coaching. You can book same-day appointments available with us. There are more affordable options as well as Spanish and catalog troubleshooting. Check that out at myamazonguy.com/coaching. Is 20% ACOS rather, below or above, is that good? And the answer is, it depends. If you're selling in a category and the competition has an average of 35 and you're at 20, obviously you're doing well. If you're in supplements and you have a 20% ACOS, you're doing exceptionally well. If you're in technology, you're doing exceptionally well. If you sell an item under $10, you're doing exceptionally well. But if you sell outdoor golf mats and you have a 20% ACOS, you're doing bad. So it really just depends on what category you're in, all very category dependent. Tomorrow, we'll have Jason Master Mateo also do a Q&A session at noon Eastern Standard Time on every Friday. So be sure to stop by and ask Jason some follow-up questions. I'm going to take a couple more questions here and we'll wrap up today. Our format today and every Thursday is live Q&A with Amazon sellers on camera. So if you missed it today, you're watching on the replay, pencil that into your calendar. Next Thursday at noon, join us on StreamYard. Come on, you get 10 minutes of time to talk with me about your Amazon problems. I'll talk to you about it. Lots of fun. All right, so could you tell me what's the eligibility criteria for a PPC internship? So we don't have a specific criteria to get an internship with us. We're looking for culture fits and we're looking for tech savviness. So if you're really tech savvy in Excel files, PPC is a great career for you. If you type fast, you have good, strong communications. If anybody of you guys want to apply for a job at My Amazon Guy, go to myamazonguy.com/jobs. Get a lot of information about how to get hired here, video content. We're the 334th fastest growing company in the United States. All kinds of jobs are open, brand manager positions, PPC, IT, all kinds of things, project managers. Just had a bowling tournament in the Philippines with some of our staff. You can see them there having a good time. Lots of testimonial videos. Here's our pyramid. We put employees before clients. If you're a client or a prospective client, you should be happy to hear that we put employees before you. Why? Happy employees mean better employees, which mean better service for clients. So I'm the owner and I'm at the bottom. I'm the butler. I serve everybody above me. And employees come first at My Amazon Guy. So if you guys like that, might be a good fit for you. You can see we got people all over the world. Here's a map of everybody and everything about it. So, all right, guys, that is the show today. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. All kinds of ways you can engage us. You can buy some swag over at myamazonguy.com/swag. Hit the subscribe button, slam the like button if you like today's show. Leave a comment, even if you're watching on the replay. Helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Let's see if we can rank today's video for Amazon catalog management. Everybody type in the comment section, Amazon catalog management. Help us out with the search algorithm on YouTube. That's the show today. We'll see you next Friday, tomorrow with Jason Master Mateo at noon, as well as me next Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Amazon catalog management. You guys are the best. Have a happy holidays.